Okay, E10, welcome to your video tutorial. Today we're going to have a look at rates on graphs. Okay, so we're going to move slightly off from looking at just the lines, and now we're going to have a look at them within a context. So we're going to have a look at some rates. Okay, the speed or rate at which something changes can be analysed by looking at the steepness of the graph or the gradient. Two common rates that we get given are kilometres per hour and litres per second. So we're going to be looking at some graphs, we're going to be analysing their gradient, and we're going to have a look at what that tells us about the speed or the rate at which something occurs. Okay, a four-wheel drive completes a journey which is described by this graph here. Okay, for the first hour, find the total distance travelled. I think most of you will be able to do this. Okay, the time in hours is below here. If this is 1 hour, I go up like that. I go across 100 kilometres. The total distance travelled is 100 kilometres. Okay. Now we've been really lucky because it's asked us for the first hour. Okay, and speed. I always measure speed as distance. If you want to write this down. Distance over time. That's how I measure speed. Speed equals distance over time. Okay, so the distance is 100 kilometres. Okay, divided by hours, 1 hour. Okay, so I write instead of writing 1h in here, instead of writing 1h, you know most of the time we don't actually write the 1. Okay, so I actually write this as 100 kilometres. And instead of writing it per hour there, that looks a bit bizarre. Okay, we usually just try and write it to the side with the division being shown as a sideward slash, 100 kilometres per hour. Okay, how fast was the four-wheel drive travelling during the second section? Okay, so the second section, here is the first. Okay, that is the first section. Here is the second, okay? That bit there is the second section. And you might notice something about the gradient of that line. The gradient is 0. The line doesn't actually go up at all. So the second section, what was this? How fast were they travelling? Well, they were travelling at 0 kilometres per hour because they didn't travel anywhere, okay? Now the third section, okay? This third section is from here at a, oh sorry, that was a bit of a dodgy drawn line. Okay, is from here up to there. So it goes to about hour 4.5 and it starts at about hour, we'll say that's about 2.5. Okay, so from 2.5 hours to 4.5 hours, so that's 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, that's 2 hours. Okay. And how far did they travel? Well, they travelled from 100 kilometres at this point, and we went up to 150. So in that third section, they travelled 50 kilometres. So if we started at 100 and went to 150, so they travelled 50 kilometres in 2 hours. Okay. Now you know I don't give my speed. You never say, oh, I was going 50 kilometres in 2 hours. No, if you're in a car, you say kilometres per hour. Okay, so if I travel 50 kilometres in 2 hours, okay, the way I need to give my answer is kilometres per hour, so it's 25 kilometres per hour. Because if I divide this side by 2, I have to divide that side by 2. 2 hours divided by 2 is 1 hour. 50 divided by 2 is 25. Therefore, 25 kilometres per hour. And that's it, guys. It's not too tricky. That is working out rates based on line segments, gradients, and analysing graphs.